Hello everyone and welcome to this stream. Today we're doing Harada Yasuo's tsumeshogi problems. If you're new to this stream and want to take a guess at the answer, what you should do is send me a PM if you are on 81 Dojo server, or a whisper if you're on Twitch. In order to tell me what your answer is, so that other viewers can't see what you're saying. Thank you. Well, and if you are on the 81 Dojo server and in the study room that I'm in, please refrain from drawing arrows. Thank you. Well, glad you could join us. Improve my pronunciation. First time I heard that suggestion. Okay, would anyone like to take a guess? Please send me your thoughts on what we should start out with through Whisper on Twitch or PM on 81 Dojo. You know, it could just be a candidate move, just so I know your line of thinking, and then we can examine the possibilities together. Okay, the first hint for this problem is you want to create a wall piece. Notice it looks like the king can kind of run this way, and there's no good way. It doesn't look at first that there's any good way to stop it from doing so. But if you can create a wall piece to stop him from going in that direction, you'll figure out how to solve the problem. Okay, so we'll look at a couple moves that don't work. One would be this. Likewise, if here does the same thing, I'll just show that. In both cases, the king runs over to his left side. With this, if the king takes, he'd be running into a self-mate that way. Then you can simply take with the gold, and there's no good way to follow up. And with something like that, you could, looks like you could take it or even run if you want. In either case, no mate. Okay, so to make the wall piece, you drop the rook here. If he interposes with a drop, anything, this should be mate. Same if he blocks with the gold. And finally, if he takes with the silver, horse stops the king from going to 3-1, and mate. Okay, let's look at that again. Good. Okay, for this problem, we can see the king stuck on the back rank. And again, we don't want him to be able to escape this way. So is there a way to keep him on the back rank? Any ideas? Mhm. Okay. I'll just show one variation that doesn't work. If you do a check like this, king will run up, and there's no way to continue the checks. Like this. Okay. So the correct move. Check. Okay. Now the king can't run to 2-2, and he must go back this way. There's a mate here. Okay. Good. Let's load the next one. Hi, good to see you. We're doing Harada Yasuo Tsumeshogi. Yes, that is correct. A lot of these problems contain one or two tactical shots in it. With the one, if it contains one tactical shot, it's contained somewhere in the problem. A lot of times it isn't the first move, but it's buried later on in the problem. But here, it's on the very first move. So if you can find it, then it's the following moves are pretty easy to find. So let's examine one variation that doesn't work. It's this check here. Now, if the king moves back here or here, there's going to be a mate with the silver. Like this. Here, let me just show you. There'll be a mate like that. So instead, he's going to have to interpose. Let's say with something like this. And then there's no good way to continue the checks. Like here, for instance. Must not use a gold though, because that would walk into a mate like this. And he interposes with, something. Doesn't matter what, because this or this is going to come up next. It's going to be a mate. So he'll just interpose with like a lance. No mate. Okay, so another thing that won't work is this check here. If king here, then this promotion. So he'll run here instead. King escapes. Likewise, this doesn't work, as the king runs here. And of course, there's this. King's attacking the rook. So that leaves us with this check. Now we can see the purpose of this pawn on 1-4. The king is forced to take that horse because if here is a mate this way, takes, and this check. You can only interpose, doesn't matter with what, because the drop piece is pinned. It's pinned by this dragon. So that leaves this silver drop ending. Okay. Good. So we can do the next problem. Yes, if you are in the 81 Dojo study room with me, please refrain from drawing arrows because other people can see it. Okay, for this problem, you can see that the bishop is attacking the dragon. One of the things we really want to do is clear the knight out of the way somehow in order to affect this check. But we have to remember that the dragon is being attacked. Okay. Another feature of this position is this very important pawn on 1-3. Yeah, Destiny, message me and let me know what you found. Okay, another hint is you want to keep this katachi in shape when you're solving it. Password protected. I get, yeah, actually what I did was I went into my settings and I made it so that I'm the only one who could see the arrows that I draw. So that way people on stream won't see it. The reason why I don't want to password protect it is because a lot of my advertising for this, that the stream is going to begin, is on 81 Dojo, so people occasionally will come into the room, so I don't want to stop them from coming in. Yeah, I didn't think about that settings option until after, but I can definitely do that in the future. Okay, first move is this check here. If the king runs up, there's bishop drop, so the only way to continue is to take it here. And then now there's this double check here. Make sure you don't do this one because the king escapes this way. So you do it the other way. And this is a double check, so there's no blocking it. The only way to respond to this double check is to run with the king. If here, then this way. And we can see the importance of keeping this katachi in shape because this gold ends up blocking the king's escape. So he takes this way, and it's kept off with this bishop drop. And we can see why the pawn needs to be here, so that the king can't escape to 1-2. Okay. So for this one, we can see that the king has possibilities of running here and here. At the moment, this bishop would stop. Whoop, sorry about that. At this moment, the bishop would end up preventing the king from coming up here, but that would mean that it wouldn't be able to move off of this diagonal. So we have to keep that in mind during our calculations. So one of the themes that comes up a lot is the sacrifice on the square where the in order to block the king's escape. That's your first hint. Well, I guess your second hint. Okay, so we'll look at the first move of the solution. This is a very natural move, again to prevent the king from running to 1-2. That leaves him 1-3 to run to. But then, you notice the bishop's kind of stuck. If he checks like this, then the king's going to run out that way. So find a way to stop that from happening. Okay, hopefully you found 2-4 gold. It's forced to take. And now that the pawn is occupying that square, the bishop can move. If he interposes, either piece can take it and mate. So here, see, all right, go on to the next one. Okay, the first hint of this problem is you're going to have to eventually drop where the opponent wants to drop. Although this problem is longer than the others that we've seen previously today, it's actually in some ways easier because there's less candidate moves and less branching than the others, than some of the others. That makes it much easier to calculate things. Yeah, Destiny, I was wondering if you had any games that you played that you wanted to review later on. Because if you do, we can take a look. I have not been seeing your PMs. I only saw one, the one 2 problems ago. I have not seen any since. You're sending PMs, whispers. Huh? Yeah, it's really strange. It's not showing up. That's actually pretty disturbing. Because if other people are trying to let me know what they're saying, I don't want to make it seem as if I'm ignoring them. Hmm. Okay, yeah, I see that one. Yep, got it. Yes, that is correct. Okay, so the only real reasonable first move is this check here. Forcing the gold up diagonally, which is a common theme. This absolutely does not make sense because you can just capture this way. And it's way too solid to affect any more meaningful checks. So here, takes. And now here's the sort of the tactical move. Let's check here. Must make sure not to just do this raw check because here this blocks it. So what we want to do is drop where the opponent wants to drop, which is one of my hints. And that's here. That way the king is forced to take. Check. King must come up. Good. Here. Okay, the first hint of this is, notice these generals on the back rank prevent the king from going up. So the theme of this problem is to preserve Katachi. The first move of this problem is actually kind of obvious. And maybe I might as well just play it. But I'll wait a little while more, just in case anyone wants to guess the entire thing. So Destiny, did you have any games that you wanted to look over? Time permitting, at the end of the session, we could take a look if you wanted to. Well, this invitation is also for any of the other viewers as well. If it's a game that you've played, then we can examine the thing, try to learn something. If it happens to be a pro game that you want to look at, perhaps I'll be out of my depth. Yes, that is correct. Okay, so the reason why I said this initial move is obvious is because uh, if you look at anything else, like let's say here, this is just way too wide. Also this one, he doesn't even need to take it. He can just escape this way. No way to continue checks. Aside from that, he could also take. And for this move, he'll just take with the king. And look, he can just escape up the board. So that's why this is the only move that makes any sort of sense, which makes it easier to find. And that's forced. So looking at this position, if we do this thin recapture, again we have that escape up the board, so that's no good. We have to retain this knight here in order for attack to work. And we can do that by this check here. See? Katachi is preserved. And now, again, we cannot take that. It goes up here and see up. So at this juncture, in order to keep the knight here so that it blocks the king from escaping, we have this non-promotion. And now whether the king moves here or here, there's going to be a silver drop like this. See? And this way. Okay. If not, it's okay. No pressure. Ah, I see. Yeah, it's very important to organize your game scores and positions. That's one of the study methods. Good organization. So when I categorize games, what I do, aside from folders with themes, I in the name of the file, I'll usually include the opening, and if there's like some theme that's kind of sticks out, and that way I can search for them more easily. Makes it much easier to review stuff later. Yes, that is correct. Okay, so when we're looking at this problem, we see this gold and silver here pretty solidly defending these squares. So any sort of attack by drops on those squares, I mean, it's just hopeless. So what we want to do is strike at the weakness of this position. And we do that by dropping the silver in front of the lance like this. So we can get a piece in with tempo if this is this. So the only way to respond is to capture with the king. Now, after this, the only reasonable move is this 2-3 gold. Something like here or here, the gold is just captured. The king must run back. Okay, I'll give people a little while and then I'll show the answer. So if we look at this position and compare it to the initial position here and here, you notice that this gold is in place. So silver was sacrificed in order to get that gold in with tempo. Okay, hopefully you found this. And now here, make sure you don't drop it on 1-2 because the king's going to run. and you promote. That's another theme in tsumeshogi. You drop the lance a square back so it can promote forward the next move. And in a way, you end up getting another gold. Okay, show it again. Good. So Destiny, I remember from last time you mentioned that you took a short break from shogi in order to do some of your other interests. I was wondering if you could tell me what those interests were. If you don't want to say, that's fine. I was just wondering. Kind of recently, I've been introduced to uh, online music on Twitch. There's some really talented musicians out there. I was kind of surprised. Okay, so when we're looking at this problem, you can see that there's a lot of pressure being exerted by that horse. Only thing are these two pieces blocking it. So we want to open things up, and we do that with this check. It's forced. Okay, let me show this what you were looking at. Okay, now if here 7, 8, and yes, as here, yep, you were correct. Yeah, sometimes that happens. And we do that double check. Here. King can't run here because of this. Here. And mate. Good, good. Okay, the next one will be the last problem of today's stream. Yeah, you didn't say what it was, so yeah, I had no idea. Like if you're going traveling or playing other games. Ah, okay, yeah. Oh, PC games. Uh-huh. Oh yeah, I remember you like watching anime too. If you have a chance, take a look at this. A couple of streams. I was really, really impressed by them. Um, there's also this Megan Lenius. Oh, she has so much energy. It's nuts. And this guy Wax Wayne. I learned about Megan Lenius and Wax Wayne within the space of I think a week, just due to the a couple streams uh, doing doing hosting. I don't know if that's your type of music, but I enjoyed it quite a bit. I actually asked Wax Wayne to cover a really old Nintendo song. It's MIDI music from the game Shingen the Ruler, which was one of my favorite game musics of all time. Brings back a lot of memories. Yeah, so he said he's currently working on it and trying to figure it out. But whatever he does, I'm sure it's going to sound really good. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that game Shingen the Ruler was way before your time. But yeah, let me try to find that. There we go. Begins at 150. Yeah, it's the ending theme of the song. I mean, of the game. Okay. What candidates were you looking at? We can take a look. Okay, we can. Yeah, that's a very good candidate move. King can't go up because of this, so he must go back. Then what? Okay, if here, king must go this way. This is also starting to look promising. Okay, if here, king is forced to go this way. Yep. Here you go. Yep. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So another thing we have to look at is instead of here, what happens if he takes? Yep. Yeah, the rest of these moves aren't very difficult to find. Here, here. Yeah. that. Okay, show it again. If good. Okay, that was the last problem of the day. Yeah, you did really well. So what are we doing later on? Well, for next stream, probably more tsumeshogi. And I'm currently trying to do as many streams as possible in order to try and find the best time slot to do a stream. The US is kind of a very wide country, so we cover many time zones, and so it's hard to accommodate everyone, and so I'm trying to find that golden mean. So anyway, so we're probably going to be doing Ouchi Nobuyuki's problems again, and hopefully if some of the viewers have games they want to review, we can take a look at those. If you enjoyed the stream and wish to support it, you can contact me at alexi2539@gmail.com. All comments and questions are welcome. Even negative feedback, those are really important ways to try and improve the quality of the stream. So I'm always open to it. If you haven't already, please hit the follow button on Twitch, or subscribe to my YouTube channel. I put up past streams and also just regular videos that don't always end up on Twitch, so it's probably a good way to see what I've done in the past, and as well as other just videos rather than streams. And please, I'm trying to currently grow the stream, so letting others know about it through word of mouth is very important. So if you liked it and thought it helped you, please let other people know about it. Thank you for joining me today. I hope to see you next time. I'll put the next stream in the schedule, but a lot of times what happens is I'm just on here, and occasionally I'll run into a student or something, and just find and just analyze one of their games. So some of the streams are not scheduled. So if you have your settings on your Twitch account to notify you whenever I'm live, it'll give you notifications of those impromptu streams. Okay, thanks again for joining me. See you later. That was fun. Bye. Yes, you're very welcome. See you.